Oh my God. Erica Keck has took her time to address every single thing that has literally been happening. Have it at the back of your mind that this woman literally said she literally do not want attention because she is mourning her husband. But now she sat down, dressed in black, as if she's a spy or something, address the nation with 8-minute video. And this also includes her address to Candace Owens. It also includes to Juski and the rest of us. Because she said she wake up every single day and then she see her faces on different internet with different stuff. But anyways, the question is every single thing that people are saying on the internet wrong or right? Let's dive into it, and credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. With that being said, let's roll out the clips. I'll be back with commentaries.
If you strip someone of their humanity long enough, you will arrive at the chilling conclusion that they don't deserve to exist at all. Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on.
I sat through that 8-minute horror show so that you didn't have to. Essentially, Erica Kirk released like a response video where she called out Candace Owens, she called out Drewski, she called out Jimmy Kimmel, and then went on to spend like 8 minutes demonizing the left, saying that we are responsible for pretty much all the political violence or pretty much any violence here in America. She demonized journalists as well, and then followed it up with stating, but anyways, let's all unite, guys. And then ended it with this really creepy clip.
Buckle up, everybody. Here we go.
But yeah, I don't know. I can't tell if this was like a last-ditch effort to try to activate people to vote for a party that is failing at the polls, or to reactivate people to donate for her organization that is failing in donations. Not sure what the strategy here was. I would think they would learn by now that anytime they show Erica Kirk's face as a representation of anything in public, it goes bad. It just goes bad. She's very unlikable, and I can't even put my finger on why. Okay, I know why, but my name is Rashida Shanley. Give me a follow onto my face again. Thanks, goodbye.
By now we've all seen this, right?
And the list goes on and on and on.
Well, brace yourself for what I'm about to show you, because I cannot stop fucking laughing.
And I get on camera and I show everybody how batshit crazy I am. And the evidence.
No, because same, Pumps. Same. When she turned like that, I fucking screamed. I was fucking screaming.
In turning points, you can both take time off from work and work at the exact same time. And this hypocrisy can go on and on.
Jennifer! Jennifer! Jennifer!
And on and on.
I'll tell you what, my birthday is in about a week, and that just made my entire year. And the way that she had like a duplicate of this outfit ready to go so fast. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Pump 2 times, girl. You need this. You gotta pump 2 times, girl. You need this. You need this, girl. Pump 2 times. You need this. You struggling, girl. Pump 2 times.
Hey, Erica Kirk, let me get this straight. You decided to step into the spotlight, but now you're crying and complaining because the spotlight's too bright.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me.
Sounds like Drewski really pushed Erica Kirk over the edge. You know, the same Erica Kirk who forgave her husband's alleged murderer, but this comedy skit is where she draws the line, guys.
I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO.
Oh, and you know Candace Owens has been under her skin.
And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on. There is a serious epidemic of dehumanization plaguing this country. The most unthinkable tragedies have now become commonplace in our daily headlines.
And I'm sorry, like, what is she wearing? I feel like she's trying to channel Eminem, letting us know, guys, that she's not afraid. She's not backing down.
Erica Kirk opens up about her experience being represented in a negative way in skits, and Candace Owens saying that she is responsible for the unaliving of her husband. And she says that this country has a serious epidemic going on that is dehumanization. And I think that's interesting coming from her, since she's the widow of a man who literally built his entire career off of the dehumanization of people, especially Black and brown people. I'm sure I don't need to remind y'all of this, but her late husband was the one that said that the police who unalived George Floyd handled it correctly. He also said that we needed looser laws around firearms, and he said that he understood that there would be innocent people who would become casualties, but he thought that it was worth it. But I guess her feeling insulted is where she draws the line when it comes to humanization of people.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on. There is a serious epidemic of dehumanization plaguing this country.
Now, I will say that this is the saddest that I've ever seen her look since her late husband was, you know. But the fact that this is the first instance where you realize that there is dehumanization happening in this country is kind of wild. Like, it's kind of wild when you think about it, no?
So Erica Kirk just spoke out publicly against Drewski, the comedian who made that video about her, and you just have to see what she said. Just watch.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on. There is a serious epidemic of dehumanization plaguing this country.
I'm just going to work backwards because I have to start here. The epidemic of dehumanization in this country is coming from Donald Trump, who, as recently as a month ago, celebrated one of his political opponents dying. There's no evidence that she was involved in the shooting, and I don't really care about her qualifications as Turning Point USA CEO. I think she should run it into the ground. But the idea that this is whiteface is not a thing. Just read a history book, my God. It's just absolutely remarkable how much Drewski has gotten under MAGA's skin for a comedy video. They are sensitive snowflakes who need a safe space.
We gotta talk about this speech Erica Kirk dropped because she just keeps on making it worse for herself. And I think it's pretty clear to anybody with 2 eyes and basic discernment. The way you can see this is every time Erica goes to an event, every time she posts, every time she speaks, she loses support. And I just really wanna know, why would she choose to present herself like this? Because people pay attention to this kind of stuff. Because here's the thing, she could step away, take the money, and raise her kids. But choosing to stay in the public eye comes with scrutiny. You don't get to be a boss babe CEO one day, and then when valid criticism starts and people start asking questions, then suddenly you become a grieving widow. Are we just going to forget that Erica decided to capture this moment of her husband for millions to see? An incredibly private moment. Then turns around and attacks journalists for capturing viral moments at a public event. Like at the White House Correspondents' Dinner when she said she just wanted to go home. People are going to point out the hypocrisy. But even beyond that, the way she speaks her body language, it seems like she has a lot of resentment and anger. But in the beginning, she forgave the man that took her husband's life. That shift is what people are noticing. The staring, the emotion that doesn't fully connect, and people are starting to see through it.
No, it's nobody's fault that Erica went to that event other than Erica. Okay. We did nothing. We didn't hit someone up. We didn't say, hey, could you storm the barrier? Hey, Secret Service, do me a favor. Could you fire shots at each other so that Erica gets into a state of trauma? It's just, we're really getting tired of this. It's so disingenuous, and we can see what you're doing. And it's not moving the needle any. I get it. She's too big to fail. You got too much money. You got too many connections. Okay. It's just that she's failing. So anyway, on the heels of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, she tweeted that she would be addressing her latest traumatization. And she did that today. She said, I need to spend time with my family. We should have pulled the tweet. She went literally in one sentence. She said, I after today's traumatizing shooting, I need to spend time with my family. And then I will be on the Charlie Kirk show on Wednesday. So I think she just needed 48 hours. And what we got today was objectively weird. It was weird for a couple of reasons. First is that it was 9 minutes, and then they just played Charlie Kirk clips for the remaining almost 2 hours. The second thing is that it was pre-recorded, okay? It was straight from the teleprompter, and it was very clearly not written by her. But we can kind of go over the points that she delivered. And yes, there's been immediate backlash. And yes, I am already being blamed for the immediate backlash because it's always somebody else's fault when it comes to Erica Kirk. Okay. So the first thing that's weird is the reason that she gives for people asking that question. Why did you go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner? You literally just said you couldn't do your UGA commitment because there were credible threats and you couldn't trust the Secret Service to absolve them. Then you did an event with Trump, which relied upon the Secret Service. And then now you're doing another event, and it's like a press event, right? That actually Charlie hated. He always made fun of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So why do you feel obliged to show up here? And here is the answer that she provided. Take a listen.
And everyone is asking why I even went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And it was because many of the journalists in that room have attempted to dehumanize me. And I wanted to meet some of them face to face, quite frankly. Why have a conversation about me when you can have a conversation with me? So, for example, a journalist from the Daily Mail came up to me. She introduced herself, and she was very gracious. She was saying, "You look so beautiful. I'm so sorry for your loss." To which I replied, "It is so nice to put a name to the face, especially with all of the slander, the lies, accusations that are out there surrounding my husband's murder and myself." And I said to her, "You know what's so interesting? This is my first time at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I find it so fascinating, the dynamic that is going on right now, because everyone is all dressed up, and you guys are co-mingling in and out of each other's cocktail parties. And so for one night, you are able to put aside all of your differences for the sake of freedom of speech. And then by Monday morning, things will go back to being an absolute bloodbath between all of you." To which she replied, literally, she said, "I know. Isn't it special, right? Isn't tonight so special?"
Any buyers? Any takers of that? That she went just for the social experiment of it all? And by the way, I know we're not allowed to remember anything she says yesterday, but I'm pretty sure that when she sat down with Caroline Levitt on stage at a Turning Point event, she says that she doesn't read the headlines, she doesn't care, she's completely removed. We've been told over and over again that she's just not aware of what's going on. Now she's saying, I actually went to this event because I needed to confront these journalists who day in and day out, I actually know their names, which is more than I can say. I actually don't know the names of all journalists who write articles about me. I don't care to learn about their lives. I actually virtually never give them statements. My PR isn't open. You can just go out there and say, she doesn't care, she doesn't care, she doesn't care, because I just got tired of answering for things. But that's what we're getting. Now we're getting that she went there and she got dolled up, and it was because she simply just wanted to, and she even went to a pre-party, I believe, right? That was posted as well. But that was just because she wanted, it was a social experiment. Okay. And next she's going to say something that is ironic. Okay. She's going to call out those journalists because that's why she went to just I don't like you journalists. She's going to call them out for their reactions to the shooting. Okay. Take a listen.
If you were in that room, you had no way of knowing what the status of the shooter was, how many there were, or honestly, really anything. It was just utter chaos. And so during an active shooting, these journalists are using their phones to find moments to capture for clips. They were so concerned about getting a video in a room with an active shooter that they could have accidentally and quite literally filmed themselves being shot. Many of those people have become so desensitized that fight or flight became secondary to the opportunity of putting themselves into the story, which ironically breaks the number one rule.
I just remember her always
Anybody in the chat want to tell her what's ironic about that statement? Anybody remember Terrell Farnsworth? And when we said that was weird, they said it wasn't weird. And now Erica is basically going, who would record themselves in an active shooting? This is Terrell Farnsworth, doesn't know how many shooters there are, doesn't know what's going on. Seconds. This is not even a minute after Charlie hits the ground and he's behind him, and he recorded himself. Take a listen.
They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. He's dead. God help him.
I'm just pointing out irony. That's all. I know I'm going to get crushed for that. How dare you remember? I go kind of spending a lot of time on this case, and it's part of the bizarre reactions that the public doesn't feel good about. So I just think it's weird to call out journalists for the exact same actions that your team took. That still works for you. Taking down cameras. All that's a bit weird. But if they started taking down cameras, you might think it was a little weird. Anyway, another part, which there's this random push coming from the White House, and you're going to hear this from Erica and from the First Lady as well, where I'm just starting to feel like they're coming after the First Amendment, right?
You know why Erica Kirk will never fail to amaze me? It's the fact that she will tweet this saying Saturday was yet another traumatic example of the evil in our country and the continued rise in political violence. I'm taking time to spend with my family. I will be joining the Charlie Kirk Show Wednesday at 12 p.m. to briefly address what took place. Enough is enough. Now, girl, you did not have to wait 7 months to spend time with your family. So let me get this straight. After 7 months of Charlie being gone, that's when you decide to take 2 days to spend time with your kids? Does she not think that we all see that she's not doing what Charlie said? Like, they can continue sitting here and saying that we're evil and all this stuff. I'm sorry, I cannot go against what my eyes see. Notice how once again she makes it all about her, especially waiting for the camera to be on her to then say, I want to go home. Like, absolutely nobody asked for this. So now she's going to be a guest on the Charlie Kirk Show to educate Americans on the dangers of political violence. The audacity to keep calling it the Charlie Kirk Show after he's gone is just baffling to me. Like, we don't even have video footage of Charlie appointing her as the CEO. All we have is at AmFest where they try to basically use Charlie's voice to say, I appoint Erica as CEO if something happens to me. But no video of it whatsoever of him appointing her if something was to happen to him. How is it that she canceled a TPUSA event due to threats but JD Vance attended, and then at the same time she's attending these huge events that lack any sort of actual security where a guy was just able to walk in and start firing? Yeah, people are not buying this anymore.
Let's discuss that fact for a second.
Sure.
If you were in that room, you had no way of knowing what the status of the shooter was. These journalists are using their phones to find moments to capture for clips. We're so concerned about getting a video in a room with an active shooter that they could have accidentally and quite literally filmed themselves being shot.
Look, you can hate the business model all you want, but like, they're doing their job. For Erica Kirk to sort of shame reporters for their bloodthirst in the world we live in, it's like you're barking up the wrong tree. Erica Kirk is so unlikable.
Many of those people have become so desensitized that fight or flight became secondary to the opportunity of putting themselves into the story, which ironically breaks the #1 rule of journalism. And again, ironically enough, the shooter was a teacher.
So there it is. Now we are getting a school of journalism from Erica, the Steve Jobs Kirk here. Listen, I don't know. I'm not here to bash on Erica. I just think it's like, gee whiz. For her to criticize journalists for rushing to monetize a story after she was congratulating her company for how much product they sold and merchandise following her husband's death, it's like, if you're gonna take a moral high ground, you better be on the moral side of victory. And she's not.
Erica also found a way to slip in immigration into her speech. Let's hear the grievance on this.
I have big problems with illegal immigration in this country. I have to tell you, we have an even bigger problem when it comes to the systemic indoctrination and radicalization of our own citizens.
So this is the woman whose organization goes to universities and wants to radically indoctrinate people to be racist. The body of evidence surrounding this is massive. This is a woman and an organization that is overtly racist, that promotes gun violence. The crazy thing about Erica's husband's organization, Turning Point, is they promote gun violence, and her husband died of gun violence. And in a bizarre turn of events, she dresses as an assassin when speaking about gun violence. But actually, she never spoke about gun violence. Right. It's all of these made up grievances. And another note is the other founder of Turning Point, you guys, the guy who funded it, this old guy, they spoke out against vaccines. That guy died of COVID. So basically, these people promoted ideals that killed the two founders of it. And now the remaining heiress, the person who wants women to stay at home, is both taking time off and working full time. And then our little cosplay assassin ends the episode in the creepiest way possible. Let's play the clip.
I am choosing to fight for America, for my children, for your children, and for our humanity. Because we all need to do our part. And by the grace of God, we will succeed, and America will remain what she was always called to be, a shining city on a hill, a light to the world. So let me give you a perfect example of how it's done. My husband did it best, and left us the blueprint on how to have uncomfortable conversations with those who disagree. Buckle up, everybody. Here we go.
Wow. So, first and foremost, I just want to point out that the anti-pronoun brigade just gave America a she, her. Way to go, Erica, on that. Number two, Kylie, if you'll pop up the Turning Point studio, the wide shot that they have there, I just want to point out just a few things that are not culty at all. There we go. So we have Charlie Kirk, which makes sense. Right. I mean, this is his show. And for the record, Charlie Kirk should be alive. And this woman, this widow, doesn't mention one time gun.
Generally, I don't think there's anything sporting about making fun of someone who's very obviously in a state of emotional distress, but there is a real irony to Erica Kirk sobbing and crying as she's being escorted out of Trump's White House Correspondents' dinner following the shooting. You can find the footage of it, of her literally crying about how she just wants to go home as she's escorted away by security. I understand why she's crying. Yes, I do. However, the tragedy of the movement that Erica Kirk has decided to spend her life grifting of is that if her late husband Charlie Kirk was still alive, he would be lecturing everyone, including his own wife, about how public events being subject to shootings is worth it so that Americans can have the Second Amendment, people passing away from gun violence included. I'm not laughing at Erica Kirk for crying, I'm really not. Gun violence is horrific, shootings are horrific. It's normal to be upset by them. But the shameless hypocrisy here is absolutely staggering. Her late husband, Charlie Kirk, whose organization she has continued to run, to carry on his name, to carry the flame, to carry on his views and beliefs, did not believe in extending that kind of compassion and understanding to ordinary innocent people who are caught in the horrors of gun violence. I'm not laughing at this woman for being distressed. I'm just pointing out that the political movement that this woman has devoted her life to, just like her husband devoted his life to it, is a movement that is obsessed with stopping any meaningful progress in preventing the spread and continuation of gun violence. Like, clearly it's a problem when it's something that she personally has to deal with, but it's not an issue when other people do. But more people, far less rich and influential and privileged people, are continuing to be subject to the traumas and horrors of gun violence. I'm sure lots and lots of people, children as well, have cried and wished to go home, while Erica Kirk and her late husband fought tirelessly to prevent common sense gun control. And the hypocrisy is staggering. That's my opinion. Follow for more.
You guys, can someone please tell me this is AI? There's no way that's real. Couldn't be. Because what is happening? Like, you're joking.
It's like Erica Kirk does not want us to take her seriously. She finally commented on Drewski's skit, and let's just say her outfit of choice was very interesting.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on.
It's giving spy. It's giving Joe from You. It's giving I'm about to rob a bank. Even after watching this clip, you can see that Drewski's skit was very spot on. That stare of hers is very sinister. She doesn't realize that it's hard to recognize that she's grieving because she's not doing what normal people do when they grieve. She's been on a tour since her husband died, and she's surprised that Candace Owens has implied that she has something to do with his death.
Watch this.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO. And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband. And the list goes on and on and on.
So, what is very important is how so many conservatives and far right figures will always play up whiteface being a thing. And I am telling you right now, it is a farce. It doesn't exist. Because you see, blackface, the inverse, is basically a practice of racial derision, as Ben Watson puts it, stereotyping and oppression expressed commonly in minstrel shows. They were mocking black folks and putting them down when they were already oppressing them. This is still going on, by the way. So he says, no, in America, a black man with a whiteface costume, when Ryan Clark did this of Bill Belichick on Halloween, it is not equivalent to a white man in blackface, he would conclude. This is why it's vitally important we teach American history in school so that we don't remain culturally illiterate. True. For example, when I mentioned the oppressors and those being oppressed, it is a perfect example and encapsulation of punching up to power as opposed to punching down to the powerless. And basically what the conversation said is it uses exaggeration, and they were talking about the Drewski skit. In this case, the ordering of not just coffee, but a sweet cream foam chai ice matcha with an organic pup cup for the fluffy pet to draw attention to how gaudy and obviously performative the elite white class can be. This next paragraph right here is really important. I'm going to get out of the shot. The joke in whiteface comedy is not this person is white, but this person is protected, entitled, and used to being in control. This is also really good. Key to the distinction between whiteface and blackface is simply the relative power of the groups being parodied. Exactly. Minstrelsy emerged in the 1830s as slavery began to disappear. It was mass entertainment that degraded black folks for white people. The conversation concludes, rather than just reversing blackface, whiteface aims to expose whiteness as a social and historical performance with material consequences. In doing so, it calls into question any sense that racial inequality is natural. I do say, this skit did a number on her, because she's still bringing it up even to this day.
I'm sorry, guys, I'm not laughing, but it's quite funny, right? This is coming from someone that created her own issues with her own hands. Honestly. You see, there are some shows that right now Erica Kirk is actually attending that even when her husband was alive, he literally did not attend most of those shows. Apart from that, she always trying to come on the internet to convince people that she is still mourning. It's crazy. In the whole 8 minutes video, look at the wrap-up that she had for those 8 minutes video. Every morning, I woke up with my names on the news headlines. On black. Trying to make America feel pity for her. I know there's a lot of people that are going to feel pity for her. And I know there's a lot of people that are going to be saying, oh, Sonia, you're not sensitive enough. But let's look at the situation that is surrounding Erica Kirk. Do we honestly need to feel bad for her? Do we honestly need to stop bringing her name to the media? Because she is always in a position of putting herself out there for the media to be able to report. And what is the job of the media? The job of the media is to go ahead and report what they see online. Just like when we thought everything was literally over with the crying that she had in the dinner during the shooting in the White House, the next thing, she is already wearing black on black. Now, to make this catchy so that people can see and people can talk, she have to now stitch the last part of the clip with Charlie Kirk. So tell me, why won't people talk? And if you follow the histories and every single thing that happened, starting from the point of the pupilling of Charlie Kirk till every single point, I'm not saying that Candace Owens is 100% right. Do not get me wrong. But with every single thing that Candace Owens has said, is she saying the wrong thing? And if you think this person is actually saying the wrong thing, and this person is tagging you more, what are you supposed to do? You know the law. Sue this person. In different videos that Candace Owens have been making, Candace Owens have literally been saying, sue me. Come for me. If I'm not saying the right thing, come for me. A lot of people, I've seen videos of people also stitching and saying, Erica should sue. Erica should sue. But you're not doing anything to it. You're trying to prove the word that every single thing that she said is correct. Don't get me wrong, I don't really vibe with Candace Owens as well. Yes, I don't. Because when her best friend was alive, which is Charlie Kirk, she has literally been in that position of sitting down and seeing Charlie Kirk dehumanizing black people. And why this is surprising to me more is the fact that Erica Kirk has literally come out once to advise white people. Do not be scared of black people. Be strong. Be courageous. That is who we are. And the same you is now coming online to say, oh, every morning you wake up seeing your name on different... You should see. For crying out loud, you are the CEO of Turning Point. Congratulations, ma'am. For crying out loud, your husband was pupilled. For crying out loud, a lot of things went down. You forgave the person that pupilled your husband even before the funeral. Or is it the same day of the funeral, if I'm not mistaken? So you should be at the front line, because a lot of questions that we have in our hearts, in our mind, you have not answered us. And if not until you answer, we will still have doubts. We will still be questioning you. So coming to now form as a black on black spy or a black on black widow just because you want to address and later you're not doing... A lot of Americans are saying, if you have asthma, let us know so we can treat it. So we can help you. So we can join hands together and contribute. So it's a whole lot to deal with when it comes to Erica Kirk. It was even more better when her husband was alive. But right now, the way things is going, you will always be at the headline. I'm sorry to say. And you are angry that a black comedian actually have to come out to mimic you, and knowing fully well that you are not the first person and you are literally not going to be the last person. This is what this guy do for a living. So I don't know why you see it as an issue and you keep pondering on what Juski did. It's that bad. I just think the person that is your PA or your advisor should do a better job before bringing you up to the camera. I trust Candace always. The response is always going to come. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section, and credits belong to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, and also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.